Around 60 million Americans went to the beach in 2010. Since then, the numbers are only rising. When we think of going to the beach, we think of people watching, we think of sunshine, we think of surfing and making s'mores over the fire. We think of being as happy as this little sun. Sometimes we think of palm trees and great sunsets. One thing that we should all think of, and I hope that you will by the time I'm done, is the marine life that we share the ocean with. And no, I'm not talking about sharks. Certain types of stingray can be found in the tropical warm waters right off the coast of the ocean. And us humans are also found in the warm tropical waters right off the coast. Typically found in the shallows, most or all stingrays are peaceful by nature. However, they will instinctively defend themselves if they feel threatened at any time, even if it's unintentional by a human. A misplaced foot coming down on the top of a stingray can be an immediate trigger for a stingray to whip its tail-like barb up, found here at the end of the stingray's tail, and it will whip up instinctively and attack whatever hit it, be that a toddler's foot going through the water or a surfer ready to hit the waves. These tails can cut through wetsuits and water shoes quite easily and will attack whatever piece of flesh it's threatened by. The area usually affected are hands, feet, and ankles, which is most easily accessible for a stingray to attack. In some other more severe cases, a barb might get stuck into the thoracic cavity or a neck or a more vital piece of the body. In these cases, medical attention is necessary immediately. A most common case of this is Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter. He received a stingray barb straight to the chest, and because of the injuries and because of the venom released upon impact, he was not able to survive because it entered such a vital part of his body. However, in most cases, a hand or an ankle or a foot is affected. And there's a very easy way to treat such injuries. So when a victim is struck, an immediate burn is felt, followed by swelling and pooling of blood in the area within a minute. There's a cut itself as the barb enters the body, and this will bleed. And the best thing to do is to stop the bleeding as much as possible. But then once there's venom in the body, it's a little bit harder to figure out what to do. So the best thing, to do upon getting attacked by a stingray is to get the victim to hot water as soon as possible. Experts do not know exactly why hot water is the best solution, whether it inhibits the pain receptors to a certain degree to ignore the pain, or if it actually has an effect on the venom. But either way, the best way to treat a stingray sting is to get it to as hot water, as hot as the victim can stand for as long as the victim can stand. The victim is able to not have the hot water anymore when the sting does not hurt when you take it out of the water for over 30 seconds to a minute. So now that we know how to treat them, it's better to know how to avoid them. So the best way to alert a stingray of your presence, whether or not you know they're there, is to perform the stingray shuffle. Maybe you've heard of it before. It's performed kind of like this. You would shuffle your feet through the water as you're entering the water, because they are in the shallow, so about knee-deep water and below. And this alerts them. It sends ripples out to the stingray to let it know that there is a threat nearby without actually stepping on it, and the stingray will get out of there immediately. So I have a personal story with this. Last December, I was in the shallows of San Clemente in Southern California, and I apparently stepped on top of a stingray, and I can attest that the pain is pretty bad, but I can also attest that hot water is the solution. So if you or a loved one ever does experience this, get to hot water as soon as possible. So maybe next time you're at the beach, you can think of s'mores, you can think of sunshine and sand, and you can also think of the Stingray shuffle.